Pretty excited to have the Breathwork Code boys on here. Got Brycey and Steve-O. Welcome back, mate.
Cheers, brother.
Yeah, so, look, I know we're going to kick off, we're going to open up with doing a 5-minute,
just a little 5-minute relaxation, down regulation breath work, just to calm the nerves and bring ourselves into our body before we kick off on the podcast.
Yeah, cool, man, cool. And then we'll dive into, how you guys got to this area of doing 9D breathwork.
Yep.
And what it's all about, man, because I've been dying to have this on the podcast and go deep with it, man. So I hope you guys are ready. For those at home, man, we're going to go deep into what 9D breathwork is and the things it's good for, man, and just dissecting it. And
looking forward to it, brother.
Yeah,
There's
cool,
plenty
bro.
to talk about, yeah.
So this is obviously 9D breathwork. I know that with 9D breathwork, the headphones are, or maybe you want to explain the headphones, but we're going to be playing this through a phone. So for those at home, this isn't the real experience, but it's certainly something we're going to show.
Yeah, 100%, man. Definitely with 9D, you want to be wearing headphones because there's a hell of a lot going on in there, which we'll explain during the podcast. We'll dive into this little relax to start, and then we'll go deep on everything that's going on in the 9D.
Yeah, wicked, man. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Sweet.
Let's do it.
We hope you enjoyed this 9D breathwork experience. Speak facilitator today.
How'd you go with that?
Good, man. Always do, bro. Always do, man. I love the 9D, eh?
Yeah, it's unreal.
Yeah. How you always feel about it? It's funny how like the few nerves, and I still get nerves before doing every podcast still, and then how like, I don't know, you're just nice and equally balanced.
It just calms down if you ever get that fight or flight sort of activated. That's a really good tool to just, takes 5 minutes. You can do it anywhere, just to really calm the nerves and bring yourself back into the body. Hopefully, I'll give you the link, man. It'd be cool if you could chuck it up so people have access to it.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, so we'll put that link on there. We'll also have the link to the breath code as well, man, so they can start following you and getting behind it, man. I can remember, Steve, when you were contemplating on doing this, beginning this journey with the breath code in 9D breathwork, and to see you boys here and to meet you, Bryce, for the first time, brother. Man, I'm excited of where you guys are going to go. I mean, I was lucky enough to do one of your 9D breathworks and also be a part of a facilitating one as well, man, and that was awesome. But maybe you boys just want to talk about a little bit about your journey and how you got to this place at the time, if you're feeling cool to open up about that.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'll probably give you the background on how me and Steve met. So I grew up in a mining town and was doing FIFO, and Steve was on the same site that I was working at. He started before me, and just bonded, had mutual interest together. Probably all the wrong things in those times, but got on.
What were those things, man?
Just partying, girls, drinking, all that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
Just when you work in FIFO, the people that you hang out with become the people you spend most of your time with. So, and it was good. He was like a big brother to me.
Yeah.
Come into my life at a time of need as well. So it's worked out really well for me. Being stick to Steve since. So. Yeah. So when was that? That was over 10 years ago.
Over 10 years ago. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I think I first experienced 9D as part of a men's workshop, and I was just absolutely mind blown. And shared the experience with Brycey, who then, I'll let you tell your story, bro.
Yeah, so Steve was raving about it, and I'd been doing a little bit of breath work earlier in the year, and I was like, I've got to go check it out. And I went, there was a lady, I live in Melbourne, and Steve's over here in Perth, and I went down and done a session with this lady in Geelong, and it blew my mind. And I was like, all right, I need to find out more about this 9D, learn it, and straight away, as soon as you do a 9D session, you probably had the same thing. You can think of 5 or 6 people that need it, or it could help. So that's what it was for me as well. And I'm like, I want to share this with some people. And a few months earlier, I started doing a men's group, and I was just running like breath work off YouTube for it, just real simple stuff. And then I thought, this would be good to incorporate into that and give the guys a bit more of a deeper experience,
Yeah. So. I do know what you mean, man. Like after my first time of doing 9D breathwork, I wanted to drag every motherfucker I knew in there. You gotta fucking, you gotta check this out, man. And even those who didn't want to do it, you're sort of like, nah, mate, you're missing out. Yeah. It is, man. Like, I mean, and just on that note, though, I mean, we've had a few conversations about it too, Steve. you do want everyone to try it. You know how good it is, and also how safe it is as well. And I don't know, getting. You got to wait for people to be ready for it as well,
100%.
don't you?
Yeah, 100%, bro. And I think just touching on the whole safety thing, man, breathwork has been classed as a low risk exercise. So there was a study done on 11,000 psychiatric patients using breathwork, and that was over a 10-year period. They didn't have one adverse effect. So although it can be challenging and it can be outside the comfort zone, it is really, really safe. And that's important to know, that people are safe, because that can help them sort of go deeper and trust the process. You really have to sort of trust that your body is going to do what it's designed to do during these breathwork experiences. And if you can trust that it's going to do that, then you can go nice and deep. And it's always an amazing experience. And the rewards on the other side of it are just so worth it.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess just on that note, it's up to you on how deep you want to go with it, So it's not like you're taking a psychedelic or something like that where there's no out.
Yeah.
With 9D breathwork, you just stop breathing.
Well, that's it, man. You're in full control of your own journey through the power of your breath. So if you want to put that accelerator pedal down and really lean into it or breathe into it, man, you can do that by doing big, deep, full diaphragmatic breaths. But if you feel like it's a little bit overwhelming and you want to slow it down, bring yourself back into the body, it's just as simple as slowing your breaths down or transferring from your mouth to the nose, and you'll come straight back into your body. So you're in complete control, which, like you say, compared to a psychedelic or something like that, it's really important to know.
Yeah, but on that note, man, it's like the closest thing to natural, like your breath and how it can get you to those places, man. So I don't know, maybe we should talk about that as well. Like how does it work, because for me, it's such an amazing thing, and I recommend it to everyone, everyone, not even you don't have to have a traumatic background or something crazy going on. I mean, I'm sure we're going to talk about addiction and trauma and childhood trauma and, relationships and breakup, because it is great for all that sort of stuff. Yep. But I don't know, even just these things that come up even for direction for me, I feel I've got a lot of clarity around 100%. A particular path that I need to go down, or, How does it get you there, man? So how does the breath actually, the golden question.
Yeah, so you're altering your blood and oxygen and carbon dioxide levels in your body. And essentially you're starving your brain of oxygen, and it sends you into this state of subconscious. And it's where we can start a natural healing process in the body, and we can affect the parasympathetic, the sympathetic nervous system, and sort of get into that, out of the fight and flight response and into the safety and the rest and digest state, and we can unlock memories and emotions and feelings, and it gives us a chance to perform neuroplasticity on ourselves. We rewire our brains and change our belief patterns of ourselves, and heal addictions. There's so much you can get from it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think just touching on that, it's like a good way to put it is, we all know our bodies are designed to heal themselves physically, right? If we get a bruise, a cut, an injury, automatically our body goes into the process of healing. We don't have to do anything. Our body does that for us. So it's the same with the emotional and the mental side of things, but the only difference is we have to activate that healing process. So our bodies are designed to do it, but we have to activate the process through the power of breathwork. That's what we're doing. We're activating our body's natural healing process. And it sort of varies from when we're talking about somatic breathwork, we're referring to our body. Soma is referring to the body. And as opposed to traditional therapy, where you're using what they call a top-down approach, you're using your mind to try and heal trauma that's stored throughout our body. And look, therapy definitely has its place. It's really important. I've done plenty of it myself, and it's got its place, but it can be challenging and it can be time consuming and sometimes hard to get to the core of what the issue actually is. And that's where breathwork's beautiful. It's because we're using a bottom-up approach. So we're now using our body to heal itself. So we're engaging that natural healing system in our body and the trauma release system, and we're allowing ourselves to get rid of all that baggage and that shit that we no longer need to hold anymore. Like, especially us as men, man, we're good at pushing shit down to somewhere where hopefully we never have to see it again. But the beauty of breath work is it allows us to bring that up and release it so that you no longer have to carry it anymore. And that's why, like, it's good because you're not having to relive your trauma to heal your trauma. So you can release things from your body and not even have to know where it comes from. You don't have to talk about it. You don't have to relive it. Don't get me wrong, sometimes thoughts might come through and you might know where it comes from, but other times you might just have a release. You might cry, you might scream, you might let things out, and that's just part of trauma leaving your body, and you don't need to know where it comes from. And that's the beauty of breath work. It's just gets straight to the core of it and it just rips it out, and it allows us to get rid of it in that safe environment as well.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, I feel safety. I mean, I've done it probably 3 or 4 times now, and each time, and the first time for me was, it's all the unknown, right? So you just, I remember taking off my headphones after the first time and just going, holy fuck.
Same, man.
Yeah,
what the fuck just happened then, man? Like, just been fully blown away from it. All because it's just through the breath, man. And but I do like what you touched on there with, like trauma can come out without you having to relive it.
Yep.
I also feel that whatever I do, like, because I've had a couple of times where I have relived things, and I can give you the story just to share my journey through that, but also being given the answer why I had to do it as well. It's almost like your body's telling you what you've gone through and why.
100%. Bro.
Yeah.
You've got to work through it, I feel.
Yeah.
100%.
And for those who do listen to this podcast regularly, I mean, like, so I found my mum dead through suicide at the age of 14. And from that moment, man, I always had like an addiction to alcohol because it become my medicine. I used it as partying and everything else, but I didn't really know how much I used alcohol as a medicine until I started doing all this sort of work. And it was at the Amend men's workshop that I'd done this one with, and I had to go back and relive finding my mother again, and it wasn't scary at all, man. It was sort of like I was guided with safety, like you said. I felt okay, and it was almost like myself asking myself, can we go there? And it was because like now that I'm not drinking, it's like and I'm not feeling anymore. It was almost like me telling myself that you've got to go back, and I've suppressed this trauma for so long since I was 14 that I need to go back and revisit it so then it can come up and be released. And it was like this whole guided, it was almost like someone was there next to me holding me, which, with the right facilitators, they are there guiding you. But it was almost like there was a part of me holding myself and allowing myself to go through that journey. And when it came to that release, it was like I had a fucking ton of bricks just taken off my back, man, in terms of, like, I can't even explain it, but I just walk around lighter from releasing that trauma, man, you know? And breathwork sort of helped me get there. Where I don't think I could, you can't go there on a normal level, can you?
Nah, bro. And like you say, that feeling of lightness is very common, man, after these journeys. Like, you let a lot out, man, and that's what it's about. Like, how often do we give ourselves that space to cry, to scream, to release things from our body? Like, it's important, man, and once it's released, you no longer have to carry it anymore. So like you say, you can feel so much lighter after these sessions.
Even that time just to switch off for an hour and a half during a breathwork session. Like, you get some people that come through and they come out the other end, and we done it one for my family the other day. It was amazing. And my cousin came out at the end of I've got so much clarity now. So nothing emotional really came up, but the clarity that I got out of that session was huge. So, it's not always big T's, heavy stuff that's coming up. There's definitely some that are beautiful and can help you move forward in your life real fast.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And like gratitude, man.
Oh.
Like afterwards you just...
Yeah.
That's my favourite part.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So how does it all work, boys? I mean, like, in terms of, like, what is 9D? What does 9D mean? And how does it work? what goes on? Like, what do people? The idea of this podcast, right, is to normalise what it is the fuck you guys are doing. You know what I mean? So like, I know it, but then, you know, for those who are out there, are like, what the fuck 9D breathwork? Because the hardest part about doing anything is walking through the door. Yeah, so. What is it, man, and what can we expect?
100%, bro. So we've sort of touched a bit on breathwork and somatic healing and engaging that body's natural healing process, which is what we're doing through these 9D sessions. But what 9D does, it takes the breathwork element and it puts an element on top of that where you're wearing headphones and there's a 9-dimensional sound experience going on in the headphones. So there's heaps of things going on. You've got subliminal messaging, binaural beats, solfeggio frequencies. The journey is fully guided in the headphones, so you've got someone walking you through it, telling you what to do every step of the way. You've got a beautiful soundtrack. You've got all sorts of frequencies layered in the music that help take you. Really what it does is it takes you deep into that subconscious part of your mind, shuts off the monkey mind or the conscious part of your mind, engages the subconscious and lets you dive really deep. So it just adds that other element to the breath work and just makes it an amazing, really deep dive experience. So, Bryce, you got anything to...
I think you've covered pretty much all it. Yeah, it just helps, it alters your brainwave patterns a little bit and just helps you get a bit deeper into that subconscious and just open that door to go through and to see what's in there.
Yeah, and then I guess, like, so how does it all sort of start off? I mean, I can talk about the ones I've been to with you boys, but like, you know, like what can people expect? And like, if they're going to sign up and they, you know, like we're walking into a yoga studio. I mean, you know, yeah.
So normally, like everyone turns up. We try and get in there a little bit early. We normally try and get it set up, and we do a little breath work by ourselves, just to get ourselves in the right frame of mind. Yeah. And then, we have a bit of a chat for 10, 15 minutes, make sure everyone's comfortable and they know the breath style we're going to do, what breath work is, what it's going to happen, what might arise, like the physical, the emotional, the mental side of things. You know, the tingles in the fingers, the hot and cold sweats, or the... what else comes up?
Fidgeting, cramping, any discomfort moving throughout the body. Obviously, emotions can come up. So, it's all normal. It's all our body just releasing trauma that it no longer needs to hold.
So a bit of a chat at the start, and we explain the breathwork style. So the most common one in the 9D is a 3 breath part. So it's 2 in, 1 out. So the first one we put about 80% into our stomach. The second one's 20% into the chest, and it's just a release. And so we sort of explain that, go into a little bit of depth, try and get everyone to go through it, make sure they feel comfortable, and then it sort of kicks off with a bit of just the headphones go on, and the journey that you would have done, the letting go. Have you done the letting go? Yeah, that sort of shows you what 9D is at the start. It runs through what the different frequency sounds are and how they combine together. They overlap.
Which is pretty fun. Like
that's a cool little skit they do at the start.
And it's, I guess, like even if you're doing a group session with the 9D, like, and you've got like a group of 12 or however big the group is, it's still a very solo journey because you're wearing, you don't have to, but we recommend that you wear an eye mask. Plus you got the headphones, so it's a very internal journey. So like it takes you nice and deep inside within yourself, and man, it's amazing.
Fucking is, man.
That's amazing. And then you pretty much you run through the journey. We facilitate when we come around. We might do a bit of body work on people if they feel comfortable with it. At the start, we talk a bit about that. So body work's just important for communication, really. So if you feel like someone can go a little bit deeper with their breath into their diaphragm or their chest, you sort of give them a little bit of encouragement or even just a bit of support on the shoulder. There's a couple of little different things that you can help to facilitate to bring emotions out of people and give them a bit of a deeper journey and support them a bit more, the safety of it.
I didn't actually realise how important that was, the support part of it. You know, like when I was walking around with you, when I had a bit of my family there, and it was really good facilitating it with Steve, and like seeing it from another side. But even I tried to breathe in good energy and try to bring that good energy into the room as well. And then at times, like you can see it working through them, but for the comments to come back afterwards, you don't actually realise how important it is to sort of be that person in the room, I find, like in terms of comforting and...
Massively, bro. It's just so important for people to feel safe during these journeys, man, and just having that little touch on the shoulder, maybe we'll speak into the mic and just say something, just a few words of encouragement, man. It always goes a long way, bro, to make people feel safe and supported, and helps them just go deeper, man. Sometimes people just need that permission, like, let it out. It's okay, like, you're safe. Whatever's coming up for you, just let it out, like, and it goes a long way, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man. I know that, the times where I was sort of just being deep into it, man, and you just feel that sort of on your chest. It's time, man. It's time to fucking just release, you know. Yeah. 100%. And I've like that one we done at Ring Fit Boxing.
Yeah,
last
that
week.
Was powerful, bro.
Fuck yeah, man. Especially in like the boxing gym too, bro. I just felt like I had like a lot of energy around it, and I think I just went through all sorts of different emotions on that, man. Like I was just like angry, just trying to release like a lot of guilt and shame from the past that was just coming up, that didn't even know that was there, you know, particularly around me losing my business, my company, and letting everyone down. I held on to that sort of guilt of like letting people down at that time, and being able to sort of just release it. I didn't even know it was really sitting there. I sort of feel it day to day, but you know, it's just a massive release. And through that release, I like it made me just saddened on like how I cried also just through like on how much I've been holding it, man.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you find the scream? So yeah, we should probably touch during the breathwork. There's a chance for a bit more release, and that's like a build up. The songs build up a bit, the encouragement builds up a bit, and then there's a breath hold and a big release scream. So yeah, how do you find the scream?
Yeah, well, the first scream, the first time I ever done 9D breathwork, it was just a bit of a scream. I took the opportunity. I mean, you definitely feel it building up, mate, especially like when you're holding that breath. And you can, by that stage, I sort of feel like I've already worked out this trauma that needs to be released. Yeah. And so to let it out feels fucking amazing, man. Fucking amazing. Like I said, like every time I've done it, then you get a sense of just relief and like this freedom, and like you tear up, you know, you start crying, and because it does, man. It's a natural relief of trauma. But then now when I do it, I fucking let rip, bro.
It's a good feeling. Bryce and I actually dived into a breathwork this morning, man, and yeah, it's just every time you do one, man, like look, I'll rewind a bit, man. I'll go back to the start. So Brycey reached out to me after he did his 9D session, and he's like, bro, I'm doing the training, and I want you to jump on board with me and become a facilitator, man. And I just jumped at it, man. I was like, right, let's go. And the reason for that is, man, like I've been in the FIFO industry for 14 years now, man, and like, you know, over that period of time, I've, you know, spent a lot of time partying, drugs, alcohol, all the shit that we as men are really good at doing to try and deal with our problems. And one thing I can assure you is that at the end of, you know, of a bender or going out and partying and taking a heap of drugs or whatever it is, like it never makes your situation any better. It only ever makes it worse. So the beautiful thing I found with breathwork is that at the end of doing a breathwork session, man, every time, man, I've found something, like whether it be I've been able to release something that I no longer need to hold anymore, whether I've found forgiveness for someone else, or more importantly, forgiveness for myself, for how I treated myself in different times, being able to, you know, get rid of or release guilt and shame that I've felt for things that I've done in my life, man, being able to, you know, get rid of fear or limiting beliefs, man. Every time I've done a breathwork journey, I've been able to find something that has helped me improve my life, man. And it seriously has, bro. It has transformed my life for the better, man. And I just want to share it with as many people as I can, because I was stuck, man, in that lifestyle for so long, like 10 plus years doing the same shit, man, partying, just ruining my body, ruining my mind, trying to deal with shit by numbing, hiding from it, and pretending that it didn't happen, man. And like I said, it doesn't help the situation, man. And I know there's men especially, I know women as well, but men are really bad at doing this, bro. And I know there's a lot of men out there that might be stuck in that cycle still, bro. And if I can help someone break free a little bit quicker and, you know, get out of it, man, like that would be amazing. I would have loved to have break free from it a lot quicker. It is what it is, bro. My story is my story, and I have no regrets. But if I can help someone else just get out of that rut, you know, and it's just a matter of trying something different, man. Like, go and do a breathwork session. It's not expensive, man, and that's the thing. It's available to everyone. It's not expensive. Like, give it a crack. What have you got to lose, man? You'll go and rinse $1,000 on the weekend to go and party and run amok. Yeah. Why wouldn't you go and do a breathwork session and try something that might completely change your life? Because that's what it's done for me. And I'm not saying breathwork is the be-all and end-all, because there's a lot of different things out there, bro. But for me, it has massively transformed my life. And it is a really, really, really good tool to have in your toolbox to help.
Yeah, fuck, man. That's like well said, bro. I relate to that so much, man. And it's not expensive. You got nothing to fucking lose. Try something different. I mean, and you're full of shit if you're laying there in the morning after a fucking big night out saying, yeah, I feel really fucking good about myself.
Yeah.
You know, this is something you can go through. It's scary as fuck. Yeah, we get it. We're trying to make it as comfortable as possible by doing the podcast and you guys, you know, reaching out with the breath work, you know, and it just takes that work to just walk through the door, man. Give it a fucking go.
Yeah. I feel like more and more people now are finding out about breathwork, and it's become a lot more accepted. People aren't seeing it as a bit airy-fairy. They're going to go, all right, I'm hearing what they went through when they done it and the positive outcomes they've had come through doing the breathwork. I'm going to give it a go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like what you said also. I mean, I related to you so much of just what you just mentioned then, bro. And thanks for sharing that too, bro, because that's what this podcast is about, man. You know, like, it's about just being open and honest, and what we're finding in all this different work that we're doing, we're all the same, man.
Yeah, bro.
You know, one way or another, we might not all share exactly the same stories, but we can all relate to one another and what we've got going through in that. And yeah, like, just clarity as well. Like, I think it also allows you to see yourself for who you are as well. Like, or in the past, like, you know, I've seen my relationship with money. I've seen my relationship with my ex-partner, and I've actually gone through a lot of forgiveness of myself and with my partner through breathwork, and she hasn't even been there.
Yeah, bro.
But I just know it's happened.
Yeah.
You know, direction, and also people and gratefulness of who's in your life. You know, it gives you a snapshot of where you are at, and it almost like helps you look from the outside in, if that makes sense.
Oh, 100%, man. That forgiveness of yourself has been a huge one for me, man. Like I just touched on, like, done a lot of silly things, or a few silly things in my life, and to be able to find peace and just find that forgiveness, like, and then move on, man. You don't leave it in the past where it belongs. Like, just move on and let it go. Yeah, it's powerful, man.
Do you feel that when you're holding guilt and shame? Well, let's just stay on that topic. You know, you can sit there and suppress it. You can go and drink, and you can go and think, you know, and it might be, I mean, we can name 101, between the three of us, I'm sure there's 200, 300 things that we've had guilt and shame for, and a lot of the people could relate to it. I think the other thing with breathwork, it's your way of showing that, like, I'm fucking manning up to that responsibility of, like, yes, I was that person. You know, you know, for argument's sake, just a one-off thing. You may be a partner to your wife, and you might not be the father that you think that you're going. By actually stepping up and going, you know what, and proving that you're a leader in your family, I'm just going to go and do this fucking breath work. It's completely out of my comfort zone. That's a way of just showing that you are taking some responsibility for some of this guilt and shame as well, you know?
Massively, bro.
In itself, regardless of what you get out of the breath work.
100%, man. Taking a bit of ownership, bro. And whether it's you get a bit of awareness, you get a bit of clarity, bro, I guarantee just about every session you'll find something, man. Even if it's just a feeling of, like, sweet, I'm on the right track, or just that feeling of gratitude, man. It's worth it every single time, man.
Yeah, for sure, man.
That's something you focus on at the start of the session before we start. Is like, what's your why? Like, why are you here today? Because in the back of your mind, there's a reason why. There's something going on in your life that you want to let go of, you want to move forward from. Like, we all know that. but there's something generally that's sticking around with us that's holding us back from doing the things that we want to do. So we do put a little bit of emphasis on the start of like setting an intention for the breath work. What's my why? Why did I come here today? And then hopefully that can lead you into a bit of a journey in your breath work that you might be able to release a bit from that. I'm not saying that that'll definitely be it, because sometimes I've set intentions and something completely different comes up and from left field, and you're like, oh, that was still amazing. Still got something out of it. Like every time you get something out of it.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. With the why or the intention, that is important. Because it's really identifying that you want to show up for a particular reason, eh?
And you can always refer back to it if it starts to get challenging, or you start to get uncomfortable, or things come up and you're not, you can refer back to that why. Why did you come here? Like, and you can use that to keep you motivated, to keep, breathe through it and go harder, man. Like, it's definitely always a good motivation, man, for sure.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good point, bro, because I noticed with a lot of things, even with the starting line event and the breathwork event that invited a few people to, they're all in, and it sort of gets a little bit closer to the time and they start getting cold feet, or don't show up at all, or come up with some bullshit excuse, or show up. And and those who show up, massive fucking like, it's awesome. And going through it, you just you give them a lot of credit for even just walking through the door and doing it. But okay, so if you're booked in to do breath work and you're scared as fuck about it, your brain's telling you every reason why you shouldn't do it. You're too tired, you got this going on, you're too emotional, the kids are playing up, or fucking being too busy, whatever it might be. Your brain's going to try and stop you from doing something uncomfortable because it wants you to stay in that comfort zone, even though it's not a comfortable place to be. Getting an intention. Yeah, 100%. And writing it down and. Okay. Yeah.
No growth is going to come from staying in that comfort zone, bro. You got to do things that are going to be uncomfortable to get to grow, to learn about yourself and discover things that you may not know, man. And if you stay in the comfort zone, it's just not going to happen. It's safe and it feels good, and we all like it there, but you got to venture outside of it if you want to change. Simple as that.
You got to get vulnerable. It's important to be vulnerable in the breath work. There's that saying, safety and vulnerability equals healing, unless we've got those two things there. So that's what we try and provide, the safety there, and you come and be vulnerable, and I'm guarantee you'll get some healing out of it.
Well said, brother. Really good.
What else is it good for, man? So we've sort of touched on like trauma.
Well, I'll just jump in there, bro. Sorry.
Right.
So obviously we're talking about trauma, like you said. Some people might be sitting at home listening to this going, well, I haven't had, many traumatic experience through my life. Like, I've had a pretty good life, and I don't feel like I need breath work. And that's where we're not just healing our own trauma here, we're actually healing generational trauma. So obviously trauma that's been handed down to us. There was a study done at Emory University in USA around 2013, and it was on mice. And what they did is they gave our mice an electric shock, and they paired it with a scent, with a certain particular smell. And obviously what they were trying to prove was generational trauma was a thing, and they took the offspring of that mice and then they presented it with the smell, and it still had the traumatic response from the original shock that the mice was given. So that proved the generational trauma. But the interesting thing they found that I don't think they were expecting was that 14 generations down the line from the original mice that was shocked were still having the traumatic response to the scent. So if you think about that, bro, we can be carrying trauma within us from 14 generations back. We could be talking wars, famines, who knows, man? Like, we can be carrying all sorts of trauma, bro. So it's a good thing to note that you're not just healing your own trauma, we're also healing generational trauma as well, bro.
Yeah, for sure, man. I released a lot of trauma, and this is crazy, man. And for those who have only just opened the door to this, and you don't know until you've gone this deep with a lot of the breath work, or even, like ayahuasca and things like that. But man, I went back to my mum's womb when I was in my mum's womb, and because I wasn't a planned baby, and my mum was in a pretty shit relationship, and she was very young. Fuck, man, I released all this anxiety that I was holding from my mum. And again, it felt like a fucking lot of weight come on. I didn't know it was there, obviously. Had no fucking idea. And, yeah, that release, man, was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And on that note, even it was crazy for me to even go through it, because obviously when I'm going through it, I'm like, you know, even when you're after the breath work, you're sort of like, oh, fuck, man, that was a bit far-fetched, man. Like, really? Was in my mum's womb, you know?
Right.
And you need to accept it. You need to go, that just fucking happened.
Yeah.
I mean, you feel good, don't you? Yeah, feel good. It felt like it fucking released.
Yeah.
It does make sense, but just because, I don't know, because we're not familiar with it, or we don't talk about that enough, or, you know, educated on it.
Yeah.
It seems pretty crazy, you know. There's some people I'd say that to, and they'd think I'm fucking
it does, bro, but it's real, man. There's sort of, that sort of feedback's common. Like, it's
Really
not
common.
uncommon. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a session I done a couple of weeks ago, and a guy remembered his memory came back to him of being born on the backseat of his car with his parents, and the initial feelings of like his mum grabbing him for the first time.
Yeah, right.
Him explaining that to the group was just mind blowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the healing that he got from that was huge.
Yeah.
And we're diving into our unconscious. We're unlocking memories and feelings and emotions. It's all real. It's all stuff that's coming up.
Yeah. I'm sure I've got plenty of stories, man. I've got another one, mate. Go for it. With my daughter, like going through a breakup, right? And she's a young teenager. Summer's her name. And I was just, as a father, like really worried about what she's going, you know, what she's processing and schooling and all that. And as a father, I'm just like really worried about her and all the rest of it. She's like really open. So she just done an ice bath last week, and I took her to a breath work, not a 9D breath work though, but it was the same sort of breathing and things. And it's completely different, by the way. Maybe we could touch on the difference between different breathworks, maybe just get a bit of understanding. But this was still pretty deep, man. And it was only us two in the room, and we had our own facilitator, and it was really nice. And anyway, we drifted off, and I went away, and then it was almost like me and Summer met in the middle, and she was just telling me like, Dad, I'm okay, you know, you're stressing too much, you know, like I see you stressing, you know, I'm okay, just let me go, I'm safe. And
beautiful, man.
Fuck, man, I just started crying. It was like it was real, and it gave me a lot of relief. And it's like what you guys were saying, it gave me a little bit of clarity of like, you know, she is okay, man, you know, I am stressing too much. And you know, and it just taught me how to be a little bit more open with my daughter now. Like, you know, we can communicate this. But the funny thing about it was, I was thinking it was that real, and the connection of it, that when I came back, I was thinking she went through the same thing, and I roll over and she's fucking sound asleep, mate. I'm sorry. And I was just, but like, man, and again, just the relief of just knowing and having that clarity by doing that helped heaps.
Yeah, bro. You've just, sorry, bro. You've reminded me of a story, man, and this is literally the moment that I realised that this is what I'm meant to be doing, and it's the direction that I want my life to be going, is doing this breath work, working with breath work and helping others. I shared a experience with my dad, and he's 70 years old, and it's safe to say his words were that it was the most insane thing he's ever experienced in his life. And after it, man, we just had a moment where I think his words were, he'll be eternally grateful, and so will I, man. Like, I look back to that moment now, and it's just a moment that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life. To be able to have shared that with my old man and embrace after, and just share that moment after, it was powerful, man, and it's so special, man. I can't put it into words, bro. It was just a beautiful, beautiful moment.
Yeah, cool, man. And sometimes communication can muddle things up. I think sometimes, you know, like breath work can certainly just calm calm that communication, I guess. But how cool is it that he's 70 years old?
70 years old. Because his
generation will be like, fuck that, you puffed.
Yeah, man. And I think he sort of said he came into it with a little bit of skepticism, but he was open, which is amazing. And it's safe to say that after it, that he was not a skeptic anymore. He was a believer.
Yeah, cool.
Which was amazing, man. And yeah, like I said, just to have been able to share that with him was a truly special moment that I'll treasure forever.
There's something in that, like father-son relationships, man, doing breathwork. There's a few times I've seen it, seen fathers and sons connect on it.
Yeah,
and it's fucking amazing, eh?
Yeah, I done one for my family. It was at Thursday. We done one together, and man, it's so powerful.
Yeah.
Even just the emotions that were coming up for me, like watching my family, like pushing themselves and trying to heal, and having a go. Yeah. Because it was way outside their comfort zone.
Yeah.
I think when I started telling them that I was doing breathwork, they were happy that I was doing something for my mental health.
Yeah.
But I feel like they were just skeptics. And my dad, 60, and Aussie as they come. I don't think. I was surprised he got down and he had a crack. He got into it, and he told me he shed a few tears, and so. If I'm a 60-year-old guy or a 70-year-old guy, I can do it. It's not a one-size-fits-all. Like, everyone can do this breath work. It's not. Sure. No one's pigeonholed into doing this. Like.
And like Steve said before as well. I mean, we talked about it's what we put into is what we get out. You can stop at any time. It's super safe. And it's not the be-all and end-all either. Like, there is no quick fix to mental health or better life or better living or anything like that. It's a whole lot of tools that you got in your tool belt. And we talk about that all the time on the podcast. It's like all these different things. But breathwork is one of those things, man, that anytime you just need a bit of clarity or some, Yeah,
100%. It's a really, like I said, there's a lot of things out there, and it's not the be-all and end-all, but it's a really, really good tool to have in your toolbox, bro, for sure.
You don't have to be doing big journeys either. Like the 5-minute down regulation we done at the start, I'd try and do that most nights before I go to bed.
Yeah.
Even just settling the mind down. Like, you can do that during the day. You don't have to have the 9D sound. You can literally sit there, 4 seconds in, 2 second hold, 6 seconds out.
Yeah.
Do that for 3 or 4 minutes a couple of times a day, and watch how your life changes. Watch the little things that change throughout the day, how you slow down a bit, that rushing around, the dopamine hits that you're chasing all the time, it just starts to slow down a little bit.
Yeah. And that's where all the magic is, as hard as it fucking is, man.
It's easy to pick your phone up and scroll for an hour, but you don't want to sit there for 3 minutes and do a breath work.
Yeah, so true. Well said.
Just on that note, boys, I was saying before, so we talked about childhood trauma and things like that. I just wanted to know a little bit more about the addiction. Now, I spoke about alcohol addiction. I had it since a young age. I use it as a medicine. Also use it as partying and things like that as well. But, I feel like now, I have a few beers, but I don't have that same urge to just get fucking ridden off because I feel like I'm dealing with my trauma or I'm dealing with something. So what makes giving up the addiction or whatever it is you may have, and addiction can come in different forms and sizes.
Well, it's a different outlet for us, man. Like, we're so used to reverting to those. It's just quick, easy fix, but it's not a fix. It just numbs it, bro. Whereas this is the opposite, man. You're not numbing it. You're bringing it out. You're feeling it, and you're dealing with it and releasing it. So it's just the complete opposite, man. And that's why.
And is that what you would say is how it? That's what I was sort of getting to. So if we're dealing with the trauma, it helps with those things that you're addicted to, that you're trying to suppress that trauma with. Is that how it works?
100%, bro. And it gives you something else to lean on, man. Instead of going out and having a few beers or whatever it is you turn to, man, go, well, fuck it, I'll go and do a breath work and try something different, man. Like, even if it's just one of these little journeys, the 5-minute one, or if it's a deep dive. It doesn't always have to be a deep dive, massive trauma release. Like, there's heaps of different options. But it just gives you something else to lean on rather than that, partying, drugs, alcohol, whatever it is for you,
Once you start dealing with stuff as well, you don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. I think that's...
You start working through why you're numbing.
Yeah.
Why am I doing this? When you do the breath work, it comes up and you work through it, and then you sort of understand yourself a bit more, and you go, well, actually, I don't need to go and say yes to every single person and go out with them, and I can say no, or, you start to change habits in your life, and that's that neuroplasticity. You start to rewire your belief system. So, it's pretty powerful.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's a good point though, because like once you start this sort of stuff, it sort of almost becomes an addiction as well. You're like, fuck, and it's a good addiction to have, I guess, because it's positive.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
Yeah, doing a lot of work on yourself and it's not even just bettering yourself, man. It's those who are around you as well.
Yeah, 100%, man. Breathwork has often led to me having conversations with family, friends, loved ones, which has led to massive breakthroughs, not just for myself, but for helping build stronger relationships. It's amazing. It often has an on-flow effect. So, yeah, you're helping yourself, but just by helping yourself, you're naturally just helping other people or helping improve your relationships. And, only good will ever come from it, bro. Simple as that, man.
That's something we should probably touch on, like going back to what comes up in a session is towards the end of the session, once it's finished, there's a bit of gratitude and stuff towards the end, a bit of meditation. And then once everyone's ready and sits up, like we provide a sharing circle. So that's where I find the biggest growth is. Yeah. Being able to voice like what's come up in your journey, let other people hear, be seen, be heard. I feel like there's a lot of power in that. Even if someone doesn't share, someone else hearing someone else share what they went through, there's a lot of growth in that as well. There's a lot of like, there's someone else is going through what I'm going through. Often you'll find two people in the same group come up with a similar thing happened, and they talk about it, and there's a bit of a community, a bit of a bond. We don't always see through each other's eyes the trauma they've been through, but we can understand for sure. Yeah.
Definitely.
Has there ever been a negative response to it?
I haven't had anyone.
Fellas experience?
Nah.
No. All my times, I've never had it. Other than like probably the most negative thing, if I was to add a negative in there, is that the integration part of afterwards. Like it was sort of really heavy.
Yeah.
I've seen a few people. One particular person I can think of is a mate of yours, and I know he. Yeah, like a lot come up. Yep. But I spoke to him afterwards and he was just like, no, it was just, it was a lot that did come up and it needed to come up, but it was something that you needed to integrate because obviously you've got to walk back out the doors and into society again afterwards. So is there any sort of, so what's your advice around that? That's actually a good point.
Yeah, so what I normally say to people at the end of a session is, your heart's really open, you've done a massive amount of healing, you've used a lot of energy, you're really open at the moment to receiving. Just be careful the people you surround yourself with, the conversations you're having, what you're listening to, what music, what you put into your ears, foods, like you don't want to be going eating greasy foods, like you want to be fueling your body back up to restore, to keep the mindset going in the right direction. And be really mindful and be gentle on yourself. Like I wouldn't be like running into a music festival or going out to the pub with the boys. Be like, give yourself some time. Like, have some self-reflection, go and journal.
Yeah.
Write your thoughts down.
Yeah.
That's a powerful one, journaling, bro. That's, I
also, just go back to what I said as well, like actually accepting what's gone on as well. For me, it was a little bit of like, did that really happen? Was that... And the more just accepting that this could be a new you, it's a new identity, but it's also a new way of thinking of dealing with trauma and stuff. And it's okay to say, yep, that's gone. Yeah. I remember the first time I ever done it and it was like having that massive weight and I'm like, nah, that's full of shit, but I feel good. And it's like, yeah, but it's still full of shit, and until I've just actually accepted, fuck man, that just happened.
Yeah.
There's the releasing, I don't know, what do you call them, like sessions that you do?
Trauma release.
Trauma release.
Yeah.
So are you boys offering, I mean, that's the most common one?
At the moment, we're sort of focusing on that area because we're getting really good feedback and results with these big trauma release journeys. Yep. But like I said before, it doesn't always have to be a big trauma release. There's other... So in the 9D library, we've got about 10 journeys available that we can share with our clients.
And that's growing as well. Like they're adding new ones in all the time. So,
okay. Yeah.
So you've got the 5 primary trauma imprints, which has aspects of love, abandonment, rejection, and things like that. Transcending fear, which is what Bryce and I did this morning. Abundance, and that's all about bringing more abundance into your life, whether it be financially, relationship-wise, whatever that relates to for the individual. There's a lot of different options, man, and they're not all deep dive trauma release. We also have some nice, more down-regulating, just to calm the nervous system, calm the body, and just relax, I guess.
So if you've gone through quite a traumatic experience, I'll try and come up with something like maybe a car accident or something. I don't
Bro,
know.
it's funny you say that. I actually had someone come through that had just been in a major car accident, man. The car rolled 3 times. She was T-boned and the car rolled 3 times. And she came through specifically in the hopes to get rid of that trauma from the car accident. So she came through about a week later and dived into a 9D journey, man. And after the journey, she said the whole thing was about the accident, and she was able to release all of that, man, and go on and live her life without, you know, being held back by the fear of what she experienced during that. So
She started driving again, didn't she?
yeah, and she's driving again, bro. And
Wow. Is that just because you're re-regulating the nervous system? Because obviously you've gone into shock. Did I say that right? I don't know. Like, so your body's gone into shock, and then.
Well, I guess also it's releasing as well. Like that trauma, like any traumatic event that we have, is going to store within our body. So it's releasing it. So it's more so just the release. It's you don't have to hold it anymore. You don't have. It's gone, man.
And it's better to do it sooner rather than later, I'd imagine.
Yeah, man. Well,
Yeah.
like I said, she did it, and props to her, man. Like, she did it within a week, and just she dove straight in and really, really did so well, and she got the results, man. Like, simple as just getting uncomfortable and giving it a shot, man. Like, what have you got to lose?
For sure, man. And so if you know what is going on, it's good to get hold of your boys and sort of say, this is going on in my life, and you could probably tailor something. So you do this, you can do it one-on-one,
Yeah.
do it in groups.
Yeah, so we tailor sessions as well for individuals, for businesses. You know, when you do it one-on-one, it's a bit more personal. You know, you have a good chat before you start. You get to know each other a bit more. You know, try and get a bit more deeper focus on what you want the session to be about. And, yeah, it's a bit more personal, you know. You go a little bit deeper, I'd say, and not that it's always deeper, but, you know, I think some people prefer the one-on-one. It's a bit more safety. There's not other people in the room. You know, there's that option there for small groups as well. You know, family groups. We've been running quite a few different little groups at the moment. So
Yeah, man, it's just a matter of reaching out. We'll happily arrange anything. If someone's wants to bring their family or friends along, just reach out to us on the socials or call us. Or email.
Always up for a call if people want to chat for 10 minutes, 15 minutes about breathwork or what it is that they think might come up and they're worried about, or just if they just want some clarity, just give us a call. It's easy. You know?
If there's a male out there listening, though, I would probably, and this is no professional advice, but only from my own experience, I would probably suggest to go into, or even ask, is there a men's circle one?
Yeah.
There's so much power, and that's no discrimination of females by any means, but it's just that, like, when you're with a group of men, I just feel like there's so much power there, man, and energy.
Totally agree, bro. We're running a men's group tonight, actually. So a group of about 13 men, and I know for a fact that a lot of those lads are going to be out of their comfort zone, man. But it's going to be amazing, and it does provide. I think just having that just the men's circle, it helps give a little bit more safety and helps men go a little bit deeper and become a little bit more vulnerable as well. So yeah, we offer all these sorts of things, bro, for sure.
And also that sharing circle at the end.
Yeah.
You know, when everyone's sharing,
Powerful, man.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Just takes one person to open up.
Yeah.
As soon as one person opens up, floodgates open up and everyone talks. You know, everyone feels comfortable, safe.
Yeah. Like you said, Dave, everyone's story relates to. We all relate in some way, and it's just amazing to hear. Other people share and open up. It's beautiful, man. That's almost one of my favourite parts of running these, is listening to people share after. And it's all, obviously, whatever's shared stays in that circle. We don't go and talk about it outside, but it's always a beautiful part of the breath work.
I guess it would work the both ways as well, wouldn't it? Like having a women's circle would probably be just as powerful.
Yeah, man, I've done a group of girls from Elwood and Melbourne. They all work together, and they had one girl that just came to a class and she goes, I love it. I'm going to tell my boss about it and get him to come down. So, yeah, I think it was 10 girls, powerful. Like, I thought the men's was like a lot of energy, but like, yeah, a lot of women in a room. That was my first time.
They would probably be more open to the idea of...
Yeah, I think so. And I don't know, they just went deep, the girls, hey? They just like... They don't hold back letting tears out, you know. They don't hold back with the screams.
Yeah.
I found the girls went really deep, and it was a powerful session to watch from like a male's perspective of like, you know, what girls hold on to as well, what women hold on to as well. It's not just men. Like, women are holding on to heaps. So.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, man. I've been more awakened to all that as well, because I generally sort of been in the, like, this podcast sort of leans, not that I've purposely linked it more towards men's mental health, but it's sort of just leaning that way because obviously, you know, it's just what I've gone through and whatnot. But you know, there's a lot of females out there that you like suffer with the same sort of things, man.
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and I think as us as males and sort of need to do the work ourselves, man, so we can start helping these women, you know, heal themselves as well, man.
Yeah, we can show up better as better men, and then like I said before, on flows onto our relationships,
children,
workplace.
100%, man.
Well, I don't know. Have we covered everything, boys?
I feel like we've touched a few good points there, man. 100%. Yeah.
So those who want to get in touch with you, we're gonna put that a 9D breathwork journey on my YouTube channel. Yep. We're also I don't know if we've already done it, but we'll have your details for the breath code on there. On my website. So people can reach out. I mean, they can reach out to you guys directly, obviously, but if they can also go onto to my website and find you there. And it's just a matter of a phone call, eh?
Yeah, that's it.
Get involved.
Phone call, message, whatever's easiest.
More than happy to help out in any way and accommodate for whatever's required, man. Big groups, small groups, we'll make it happen. We just want to get it out there, man. Like, we know what it's done for us in our life, man. So we want to give it back and share it with people, man, because it needs to be out there, bro. There's too many pills and shit that you can pop back to try and fix things. Like, this is natural. This is our breath. It's what we're designed to do. You know, like we are built to do this. So we just want to share it with as many people as we can, bro.
Yeah, so, man, I think over the next period of time, it's like we're going to try to leverage, like Steve's in the FIFO industry, I'm in the construction industry in Melbourne, and I think we're going to try and make a decent push to support men or women as well in those industries. You know, I know in construction in Victoria it's the second highest suicide rate. You know, so there's definitely lots of room there to be moved. And we have a lot of these days where Are You Okay and men's mental health days or mental health days. But there's not. Maybe we stop for a barbecue and that. But I'm sure this can get pushed into, you know, stopping for half a day and doing group sessions together. You don't have to do the 9D, but definitely sure there's more things that we can bring to the table.
Well said, bro. Like, from just my experience with 9D, I'm fucking so grateful that you boys, more people are doing this, man. You know, and it is a must. And it is a way of dealing it. You know, it's one to recognise, yes, we have mental health days and things like that, which is awesome. But
we lost one of the boys at work to suicide a couple of years ago. It was during COVID. And I'm just, you think, like, if this tool was already there, if this was already implemented in the workplace, you know, if these tools were there that they could go and use, like, maybe that wouldn't have happened, you know, or maybe we wouldn't be in that situation.
So is there a good time to be doing this? Like, if you are suicidal and you're in fucking dire straits, man, like you're planning shit that, you know, well, whatever it may be, is that a good time to start doing breathwork? Because I feel... I mean, I would, me personally, and it's hard to give advice here, but I mean, me personally, what I would say is that's the more raw you are, the more heavy you are to fucking get in there and do it, or at least put your hand up and reach out and have a yarn. Yeah. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
No, I agree. I feel like depression, anxiety, this is what it's designed for. It's to help heal this stuff. So I feel like if you know, you set the right scene for the person that's going through it, and you provide the safety there for them, it's going to be a safe journey. And you'll help them through, and they'll definitely get some change out of it. You know. Yeah.
And there's no expectations with it too, man. I think you know, we sort of talked about even just walking through the door brings great strength about yourself. Yeah. And shows that you're at least stepping in the right direction, eh? And then what happens from there with the breath work, man, is just a bonus.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Yeah, it's a step in the right direction, and that's all you got to do.
Well, man, fucking honour having you boys on. I really appreciate what you're doing, and I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, brother. Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, and I reckon we'll just keep pushing, man.
Yeah, 100%, man.
All right, boys. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks.